the blue stones of Atlantis, Ireland, the Anunnaki, and the lost Ark of the Covenant. How can seemingly unrelated events, places, and legends be linked? What can Atlantis have to do with Ireland and the Anunnaki? And what were the Anunnaki looking for in Ireland? Why was a group of Israelites looking for the Ark of the Covenant in Ireland? What do stargates, astropeles, have to do with all this? Now, surfing the internet one night last fall, a few days after the publication of this writer's last article, The Rise of Atlantis, The Secrets of the Pure, the writer says, my pulse suddenly accelerated. My article linked the genocide of the Pure of southern France, the secret teachings of Jesus, and the supernatural blue stones of the Sumerian creator god Enki, or Ea, that opened stargates and caused enlightenment. Evidence flashed before my eyes that the addition to Iraq and France, EA also operated a blue stone based on a Stargate mystery school on Tara Hill in Ireland. Conor Newman, a professor of archaeology at the National Institute of Ireland in Galway, said he had located a huge underwater temple in Tara. Since 1992, Newman has been working on Tara Hill, preparing an area survey for the State Discovery Program, and he found the monument in Tara using an underground radar device. And what he finally revealed at the top of the hill was a huge oval-shaped monument about 170 meters wide at its widest point. Around it are 300 post holes, underground pillars that were measured 2 meters wide. Evidence shows that this crown or tiara jewel of Irish archaeology was made after a tremendous effort. 300 tall oak columns once surrounded the hill. Newman believes it probably dates from 2,500 to 2,300 BC, that's over 4,500 years ago, and still had a large physical presence even after these places had come out or rotted. Although the site houses many well-known archaeological treasures, this latest discovery reveals that there is real treasure under the sacred hill, and it may soon be revived. With this revival will come important new information about Enki. These are the circles in Tara Hill in Ireland, as we see. So Tara is the prehistoric home of the magician Tuatha De Danann, who are considered direct descendants or reincarnations of the biblical glorious beings Elohim and the creator gods. Y. Evans Wentz notes that they are described as a competition for majestic appearance and wonderful beauty, in human form but with a divine nature. Divided into two categories, those who shine, those that are iridescent and appear illuminated by a light within them. They sound like angels here. Now the Sumerians called them Anunnaki, which means fish, Aki, and light, which explains why the Irish call them Lords of Light or Ili Ili. They were led by Ea, and brought with them 4 treasures or power tools. The stone of destiny, the word of destiny, the cup of destiny, the kondari or the spear of destiny. Kondari means spear in Greek. The spear of destiny. These treasures were housed in the so-called treasure cave in the mountain of God, where an eternal flame burns. Tara Tara was considered the mountain of God, as well as the gate of Eli, or the Ishtar gate, to the etheric alien. The tombs of Perasma fill the surrounding countryside. The passage tombs or mounds called Sidhe, pronounced she, Sidhe, she, a pun with the people of she or shining ones brings beings, the shining beings or shining beings who worship Anna, the great mother of all living organisms. From the first dawn of Irish mythology, the Celtic or Celtic ceremonies took place here. Danann mythology, perhaps the lost tribe of Dan or even the Greek Danes, Danai, they were from the area of Sparta. Spartans are, as we know, from the tribe of Dan, you read that in the book of Maccabees in the Old Testament of the Bible, shows that they had the ability to control sunlight through the power of a magical blue stone with miraculous powers. This stone is the basis of Irish mythology. Now let's remember that the Spartans did establish colonies throughout the British Isles. I've done various videos on that. That's also Ireland and Scotland. That's why they wear kilts, just like the ancient Greeks did. And the pipiza, the bagpipes, come from the Greeks as well. Now, and a lot of names of the locations in Scotland, for example, called Caledonia, from the king of Peloponnese, Caledon. Anyway, Ea in Ireland, the writer says, I learned he was presiding over the assembly of Tara, or the sun god Finn, a druid with strange floral garments and a double-marked headdress carrying a book. Let's remember that the Druid religion came from the ancient Greeks, the pagan religion of the Druids. Now, the biceps tiara in the shape of a fish is its uproot rod, its spots or plaid clothes in the basket in its hand are symbols that are easily recognized in the Sumerian depiction of Ea and are presented here. His column, or eye, the pillar of Tara, enlightenment, has gone down in history as a tree of life wisdom in many traditions. And Ea is characterized as the pupil of the eye, with wings and tail, and like the snake of wisdom that allegedly lived in a tree. So here we have the Anunnaki priests dressed like fish in fish costumes, as we can see. Ea led the Anunnaki in search of the blue stones that cause ill, which means lightning, luminosity, illumination, and he found them in a place called Arili, Ireland. The Sumerian myth is idealized by Zecharia Sitchin, who says that Enki was a genetic scientist who came from the mysterious and now controversial Planet X and or Nibiru. The blue stone symbolizes the exotic, lost, or hidden dark matter of the universe, known as the Philosopher's Stone or the Black Stone. Crystallized in the density of Earth, this black stone shifts its vibration to blue stones, actually tones from various changed frequencies. The complex of three spheres symbolizes them just as the word of power of life of God does. When a man places himself in tune with the life force of the blue stones, then it transforms him from man to God, it says here. Similarly, the Irish root of the word Ea means fire or light that illuminates us all and sets us apart from earthly life. In Irish, Ea also means a cause, issue in the course of change, a compact, a confederation, what someone learned, function, learning, science, wise, wisdom, a herd, knowledge, discipline, teaching, price, respect, a country, an island, and a race. Ea founded civilization in ancient Sumeria and modern-day Iraq, but first he seems to have settled in Ireland. As Lawrence Gardner points out, Anunnaki Irish mythology predates Sumerian civilization by 1,000 or more years. Like the Sumerian Ea, Ireland goes down in history as a complete kingdom, and its sudden origins have puzzled many historians. Sumerian culture coincides with that of early Ireland. It's as if one culture is a continuation of the other. Both Irish and Iraqi mythology revolve around the secret teachings of Ea's blue stones. In ancient Irish religion and mythology, Tara was a sanctuary for Ari, later Irish or Irish, who is ranked below the Ili gods but above humans. Ireland, Ireland or Ari land, Mars land. Ari means, of course, Mars in Greek. The planet Mars in Greek is called Ari. So it could be that this Ireland comes from Mars connections. Takes its name from Mars or Aryans. Ireland is considered the great homeland of the people from Mars, otherwise known as Atlantis, Thule, or Tula. Aryan, or from people from Mars, is a Sanskrit word meaning noble. The concept of the Aryan race has been outrageously misinterpreted. The root of the misunderstanding lies in the Sumerian claim that Ea and the pure lady Nin Hursag, or Mari, cloned the first model of the human race as a slave. In the blood of the second advanced man, Ari or Ili, they put the sacred knowledge, according to legend, Irish legend. They then separated this new human being from the others, taking him to a house on the island Posidonia or Atlantis, where Patera in France, in Greek, Patera, it means father. The founder, Poseidon, or Lord of Wisdom, was. Ea's half-brother Enlil, who wanted to keep humanity at the level of helpless. Earth-bound slaves opposed it. Tara Hill is in theory one of Ea's Enlightenment workshops and the site of the children of Atlantis, the lost Enki tribe after their exile by Enlil. Irish mythology insists that the secrets of Ea and his lost tribe remain hidden under the ground of Tara Hill. The Irish make it clear that post-flood Atlantis mythology, including the Blue Stones, originated in Ireland and spread to Sumeria, Egypt, and India, and southern France. Among other uses, blue stones, called blue apples in the south of France, were used to open gates or stargates or passages to other spheres or other universes. Gnostic Christians claim to have been present at the crucifixion. It was then owned by the pure ones, who were taught the secrets of the blue stones by Jesus, and according to Irish belief, the word Ea is the root for Yesa, the Holy Spirit or Jesus. The Church of the Dark Ages used a fist of velvet wrappings and tried to disarm the pure from these strange secret fruits. And this is a depiction of Jesus called Pantara, or the god of Tara, or Patera, known as the Father, known in ancient history as Yese, or that's the pronunciation of Jesse or Joshua, Jesus. Now, the Enlightenment in Ireland, in the south, as in the south of France, took place as a tremendous price. It would do with the extermination of the Cath Ari, and the Church of Amor or Love, in 1208 AD, and in 1169 the Church of Rome launched a terrifying campaign of terror that overthrew the Irish religion and the Mother Church of Tara of Love. After the British troops, acting on behalf of Rome, suddenly occupied this land, which the locals called Skili, or Blessed Isles, Blessed Islands, for the fact that it was saved from the flood of Atlantis, the English priests rewrote its history, full-scale perimeter mythology, wiping out the carpet Tara, who was left a sunken shipwreck intact with its physical state, spiritually damaged. The Ili were exiled to the inner world. The Church of Rome turned them into devils. As Bruce Rux notes, their stature had shrunk significantly in size as well. This is evidenced by the term now used for them, folk fairies. The Tuatha de Danann were described as tall, blonde with light skin, and by a Y suffix to their name, a demonic or derogatory image was created. The church turned Ea, Poseidon, or Atlantis, or king of Tara, into Pati, St. Patrick, a church hero saint who's probably a construction of the priest, who said, instead of bringing enlightenment, he came to Tara to face the ancient religion of the gate in its most powerful location. No, I don't believe this. St. Patrick was actually of Britain, and he was taken to Ireland as a slave, and he, with his prayers, was released. He had increased his faith while he was a slave 10 years in Ireland, from his teenage years until he was into his manhood. And Christ revealed to him that he would be the first bishop of Ireland, and as the case was. Now, Patrick and his followers prided themselves on burning the 300 archives of Irish history and Druid writing. Of course, Druids were pagans, to say the least, and let alone sacrificing even humans. Now, the destruction of the teachings of Ea, king of Tara, is not complete. The destruction is to be done on Tara Hill and will have far-reaching implications for our understanding of the ancient history of Ireland and the history of Ea. This understanding will shed light on the origins of Hinduism, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. It will reveal their common roots, and today civilization threatens Tara's temple. Mr. Newman is concerned about a planned extension of N3 motorway from Clonee just north of Kells. One of the sections from Dunshaughlin to Navan runs along the east side of Tara Hill. Newman has absolutely no doubt that he will destroy dozens of new monuments associated with Tara Hill and Ea. This flickering lantern cannot be allowed to fade, he said. And this is an image of Tara Hill. This is supposedly 4,500 years old. Now, there is a fascinating, powerful connection between the blue stones of Ea, Ireland, and the Ark of the Covenant, the golden box through which the bright divine light in the presence of God appeared to the Jews. According to Irish folklore, the lost Ark of the Covenant is hidden on Tara Hill. In the 20th century, a group of Israelites linking Tara to the Torah came to the hill of Tara believing that the Ark of the Covenant was buried on this famous hill. They dug a mound of the synods in search for the Ark, but found only a few Roman coins. A formal excavation in 1950 revealed the circles of the underground pillars, indicating the construction of important buildings here. In many of my books, the author writes, and in the aforementioned AR article, I have argued that the Anunnaki operated a Tara gate in the place called Eskol, which translates to stone, called the Cluster Valley, as in the grapes. The Bible places Eskol in Canaan, the Promised Land. The book of Numbers 13 tells us that Jesus of Nazareth stole these blue stones, symbolized by a cluster of very heavy grapes, from the Anunnaki in the Eshcol Valley, and returned them to Moses along with a warning: the earth eats people up. I have interpreted the enigmatic phrase in the sense that the Anunnaki were operating a gateway that made people disappear. The blue stones symbolize this gate, and the Bible is silent about what Moses did with the blue stones of the Anunnaki. This is strange, considering that they probably represent the basic secrets of the universe. The blue stones are believed to be sapphire crystals that contain cosmic secrets, engraved by the hand of God. Sources from the Talmud Mishraik say that it was transparent, flexible blue, and like Eshcol grapes with a lot of weight. Graham Hancock mentioned these stones in The Sign and the Seal, speculating that Moses knew they were hidden on Mount Sinai and that they are meteorites that have a supernatural source of energy. Further, Hancock suggests that it's a cryptograph for the Holy Grail. The cluster of grapes, or blue stones, symbolize the chalice. Most ARK researchers skip the blue stones for lack of immediately available information, and for the fact that they were broken by Moses and replaced by a second set of tablets containing the Ten Commandments. A tremendous wealth of understanding arises when we associate the blue stones of Ea with the Ark of the Covenant. And the author says, as I wrote in my book, The Ark of Christ, the connection between Ea and the Ark is very easy to make. The blue stones were given to Moses by the God of light on the glowing, smoking mountain of light, Sinai, which is considered a metaphor for the tree of wisdom and the gateway to God. Apart from Sinai, the tree of life allegory, a smoking mountain is either a burning mountain or a volcano. The god most closely associated with volcanoes is the god of alchemy, Vulcan, or Hephaestus in Greek, the god soul processor, whom the Sumerians called Ea. Ea appeared before the Sumerians as the Aryan deity Ahura and Ahura Mazda, and he appeared when they saw his shining ark at the top of Mount Hara. The mountain of Istara is as a being of light. God appeared over the ark on Mount Sinai in exactly the same way, that is, with fire and a cloud of vapors, in addition, in the form of his glory. And in addition to the Eas, God of light from the ark, brings to the surface something else. There were two teaching of Moses, the first based on the blue stones based on the teaching of enlightenment of Ea, and the second, the Ten Commandments, a penal code for Israelite slaves, is by Enlil, whose authors removed the reference to the enlightenment of the blue stones from biblical history. And this is a depiction of Ahura Mazda of the Sumerians. Now, the indication that Ea is the god of light from the Ark brings to the surface something else. There were two teaching of Moses, first based blue stones on teaching of enlightenment of Ea, the second, the Ten Commandments, a penal code for Israelite slaves, is by Enlil, whose authors removed the reference to the enlightenment of the blue stones from biblical history. And for some reason, God lost interest in the Ark in the years of Jeremiah 580 BC, telling the Israelites not to think about it and not to remember it or to magnify it anymore. This was probably because the Israelites lost the Ark, possibly because of Nebuchadnezzar. Well, they didn't lose it. Jeremiah purposely hid it. Now, Jeremiah was commanded by God to hide the secret stones of Israel because of the threat from Nebuchadnezzar, the priest king of Marduk, the bright god of planet X, the son of Ea, who had gathered for a gate to Babylon through which the Son of God appeared. The Irish claim that Jeremiah brought the stones to Ireland together with Princess Tara, founding a Druid school of wisdom based on stones. It said that a great prophet will emerge in the West who will miraculously cause a tree of Ea in Tara to produce buds and flowers. Meanwhile, Saddam Hussein believed he was the reincarnation of Nebuchadnezzar. The struggle for the recovery of the blue stones of Atlantis continue. And this I've translated for you from a Greek article. What can I tell you? This is mythology. Irish mythology connecting to Sumerian mythology. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.